After a wonderful week of holiday cheer and football, we can turn our focus to the more important things in life, like family. Vin Diesel announced that he wants the Fast and Furious series to return to its roots with a focus on street racing and what the real definition of family is. Welcome back to the Moonstamp Cast. I'm Brian, and I'm joined by the thing about street fights. The street always wins. To my, I said forget about it, Jorden. How you doing, buddy?
I don't know how I'm doing. I feel like we need to make 9 sequels. I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm okay. Just recovering from a wild fucking sports weekend and a wild feast that was Thanksgiving.
Speaking of feast, Brian, I have a question for you. Hey, are you getting paid by the Dodgers in the next couple of years? Because I'm not. And I feel
I'm not either.
Everyone in America is at this point because they picked up Snell and Edman and both have deferred money. Do you know how much money they have deferred since 2020?
$200 million.
Oh, Brian, you're going to be since July 2020. They have deferred $964 million.
Almost $1 billion.
Almost $1 billion in just deferred money for the next, however long. I feel like I'm missing money at some point because the Dodgers are paying everyone over the next 50 years. So I'm a little concerned about how this looks for baseball because the Dodgers are creating a super team based on money they do not have. They're pulling an Enron.
Yeah. Is this the new precedent? Is that what they're doing? They're just going to set the new standard that you're just going to defer payment? We'll pay it later. It's essentially the credit crisis that the United States has, but to the most extreme, where it's just like, this is later problem. This is future Brian problem. This is future Jordan problem. This is future Dodger problem.
I mean, I've talked about before, like Bobby Bonilla was the most famous one. It's happened before, but who's the most famous one? And the whole point was they had done Bernie Madoff. The Mets had done Bernie Madoff, and they thought they would make their money back. I have not seen any team outside of the Dodgers go this crazy with this entire scheme. It feels like a scheme at this point. Like eBay went to jail for, wink, wink. It feels like someone at the Dodgers facility needs to go to jail for whatever weird accounting structure they've set up for this.
I just don't know where to go from here. And actually, the first thought I had was like, hey, what if Dana Brown and Jim Crane kind of look at each other and go, well, they want all this money, Bregman and Tucker. What if we just defer it?
Yeah, at this point, just defer it. Like, why not? It seems like the in vogue thing to do. So, speaking of in vogue as well, Aroldis Chapman signed for the Red Sox. Couldn't, great for them. They, whenever he gets destroyed in the playoffs, couldn't happen to a nicer guy because, he pistol whipped a woman. So,
jeez.
But yeah, baseball right now. Baseball is in the off season. Just quickly, I forgot to mention the people they've deferred so far with money: Ohtani, Betts, Snell, Freeman, Will Smith. And this does not include, that also didn't include Edman, who I don't know if they have released how much he's deferred yet, because he's signed for 5 years, $74 million. Snell signed for five years, $182 million. $62 million that was deferred.
That's so stupid, man.
It's so,
they're gonna win another. They're gonna win back-to-back World Series.
I mean, I don't want to, call it a Mickey Mouse championship at this point, but I do feel that if you're using these weird accounting tactics, at some point, it's a little bit Mickey Mousey.
I literally don't have anything else to say about it because there's nothing to be done. They're not breaking any rules. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, to mention Enron real quickly for history for our listeners, there are SEC rules in place now, not the Southeastern Conference, the one that actually has power, not over ESPN though, like the SEC does. Rules got changed because of Enron. So maybe, someone at the MLB office, maybe Rob Manfred in his cowardice, decides to do something. But that's all I have on baseball this week. There's really nothing happening other than the Dodgers figuring out how to launder money. Just want to start quickly with college basketball. We feasted well. I am a college basketball sicko because during the Bears game, which was, I did not see the end, I'll be honest, because I was watching the Louisville, Indiana game, which was a blowout, and Indiana lost. So I'm a sicko. I love college basketball. Dan Hurley is a bitch of the highest order. I don't know if we talked about last week how they lost. They then went on and lost to both Dayton and Colorado. So now they lost 3 games. They were the last in the tournament, defending 2-time national champions to last in the Maui Invitational. Dan Hurley, the bitch, said that they will never do a 3-game invitational again. A bitch, let me remind you. If they had gotten 3rd, I mean, he wouldn't have been saying this. They got 8th, and now he's like, this is the worst thing that ever happened. Dan Hurley, a bitch. Just a few games that mattered to me throughout the weekend. West Virginia beat Gonzaga. Gonzaga was number 3 at that time. West Virginia doesn't really have much going on in football or basketball, so good for them. Big 12 wins again. Won't be a theme. Oregon defeated Alabama, which is probably going to happen the college football playoff. Kansas defeated Duke. Always good to see John Shire lose. Big 12 supremacy. Woohoo. Like I said, Louisville defeated Indiana. Auburn defeated Iowa State. Auburn's really good. And UH has serious issues, and I don't enjoy watching them right now. Apparently, everyone relying on Jamal Shed for 2 years, especially last year, wasn't a good way to grow anybody. And now no one's the guy on the team or is willing to shoot the ball ever. So they can't shoot. I don't know what their percentages are because I'm afraid to look at them. Call me a bitch if you want, just like Dan Hurley. Also for you, I sent this to you on Thanksgiving. St. Mary's defeated USC 71-36.
Woohoo!
So big, horrible weekend for USC just in general. Let me run to soccer updates real quickly. Talked last week about Manchester City versus Liverpool. Always fun to happen because everyone hates Man City. They have 115 charges against them, financial charges against them. They beat. Oh yeah, no. I have a quote for you as well. I don't know. I think I've written blogs about this. Basically, Man City is owned by an entire country, and that country kind of creates maybe some fake companies to invest in Man City so that they can then claim that they got sponsorship money of like $30 million from a company that doesn't even have a website. And so there's, question is in soccer, you have to basically only spend as much as you make. Well, kind of. Everyone is a little bit different. Man City's fucking washed. Their midfield, what happened? De Bruyne, KDB, Gundogan, and Silva, all bitches now. That's the theme of this week, bitches. And in the span of a month, Liverpool's beaten the German, Spanish, English, and European champions by an aggregate of 8-0. So great time for us. We are 8 points ahead in the table. Not going to say a word about that. Arne Slot, the coach of Liverpool, I brought the 115 for a reason. Mohamed Salah, after the game, had said he doesn't know if this is the last time he may play Man City at home. Arne Slot made a joke about how, well, maybe he knows something about the 115 charges we don't, because Man City might not be in the Premier League next season. And they went, I joke. So that's soccer update. I'm not going to speak about Liverpool being good. Tessa tried to jinx me. I know what you're doing. She texted me like, wow, you guys are going to win. Shut up. We don't do that until after December. And that's barely do that because I've seen it before. Yes.
I have a soccer update
for
you.
Okay.
Jerry Jones's yacht has been spotted in some port that is apparently there's rumors that Jerry Jones is going to try and buy the Tottenham Hotspurs. This is, of course, the source being PFT commenter. So I don't know if this is just him being a fucking little weirdo. I shouldn't say little.
I mean, as a little person, as a munchkin myself, this is for the Wicked fans out there. My sister said I had Bach energy, which means he's a munchkin in the Wicked. Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe that'll be so funny to make fun of Tessa for for if Jerry Jones is the owner of the Tottenham Hotspurs.
That's I mean, the jokes write themselves there. Is he going to build a new stadium with east to west with big, huge windows that he won't cover for some reason during the games? Love it. We have a lot to get to on football this week, so I'm going to run through hockey also kind of quickly. So I actually watched the Blackhawks Maple Leafs game last night. I'm going to out myself as a really dumb person. I saw tweets about, I'm watching the Maple Leafs on Prime. I'm watching on Prime. Monday Night Hockey's on Prime. I went to look for it for like 30 minutes, Brian. I was like, where the fuck is this? Turns out Monday Night Hockey is a Canadian thing. So we don't get that in America. So smart of me. They're 14-7-2. They have 30 points on the season, which is good. I'm starting to learn names and players. I saw some posts on Reddit about a shirt. I was like, oh, that's Marner and Matthews. I know them. I know their faces now. Austin Matthews was back last night, scored a goal, looked fantastic. This guy named Tavares, the best goal of it. I mean, I've not seen many goals. Best goal I've ever seen. It was like a behind the back double doink. Just fantastic. He like flipped it in the air. Very cool. Stellars and Wall, they are 3rd and 5th in save percentage in the NHL. Killing it. Saw another tweet about this, about how it's great to have a good goaltending situation in Toronto. I agree. Great season so far. Wink. Don't never see another season in my life. The team's really good. I'm happy with the team. I chose well. Thank you, Wheel, for choosing well for me. And that's my Maple Leafs update.
Yeah, over on my side of things, over in Colorado, we're 4th in the Central Division at 13 and 12. I don't know what this means. I don't think that's good, but I don't know for sure. Nathan McKinnon leads the team in points still. We only now have one person with a positive plus minus, and he's at a 1, and that's Joel Kiviranta. Yay! And then all hail Kale. It's not been great. It's been super up and down, super early for us. And the end.
I don't know if you know this. I looked up on Hockey Reference. Nathan McKinnon has the most assists in the NHL as of last night. By the way, we're recording Tuesday, so that could change. But
they play tonight.
Yeah. Well, he had 29 as of recording. So, all right, Brian, college football. This was, we like to call George Pickens week. Huh?
George Pickens week?
No. Who's the Steelers guy? I can't remember the name.
George Pickens.
Yeah, George Pickens. Oh, yeah, because yes. Okay, I'm right. Everyone fucking fought each other and decided to. Now, Brian, I have a list of teams that fought on the field. I need you to tell me, and there's one that you're going to think is the one I'm talking about. Tell me when the teams are not like the other. All right, this is a list of every team that fought. Memphis and Tulane, whatever. Michigan and Ohio, NC State, UNC, Auburn, Alabama, Arizona State, USC, Notre Dame, Mizzou, Arkansas, Virginia Tech, Texas A&M, Florida State, and BYU and UH. Can you tell me which one of those is not like the other in terms of rivalries?
BYU and U of H is my final answer.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a scuffle in the end zone at one point. It's the Cougar Bowl. It was not. So let me just give you a rundown of UH's week. It was a Cold War proxy war between Iowa State and Colorado. Iowa State needed BYU to win. Colorado needed UH to win to get to the Big 12 championship. I don't think anyone at Colorado has watched a UH game this season because they kept saying UH threw the game on purpose to screw them. Deion Sanders Jr. even said UH threw the game to screw them because BYU kept giving UH the ball. To which I say, did you not watch UH at all this season? Because that's about our offensive capacity right there to just give the ball away constantly. It was not a good game. The end of the season, great. BYU, good season. Hopefully, get into the CFB playoff. It feels like a good 4-8 compared to last year's 4-8. That's all I have to say on UH. Thanks, Deion Sanders Jr. for calling us out for something that wasn't possible. You can only rig a game if you're good at it, and we are not. So that's UH's season. We fought in the end zone. That was kind of silly, honestly, because it was the last game of the night, at least I think it was. I started at 9:15 Central Time. There's no reason to fight. The game just sucked. So yeah, that's UH.
Notre Dame. I have a quick story for you about a man named Christian Gray. Not that Christian Gray.
Okay.
Christian Gray was getting he's a sophomore, number 29 cornerback, was getting his ass reamed.
Sounds like the real Christian Gray.
So it sounds like the real Christian Gray. Just getting torn apart. And then so he started doing what cornerbacks do. Defensive pass interference. He had 2 big defensive pass interference that helped the USC advance the ball late into the game. And then he did a pick. He to redeem himself, he caught a ball on the 1-yard line and took it for a pick 6. Hooray! And all my friends were like, yay, redemption. And then the following play, the next play that USC had, they went back and targeted him. Of course they did, because this man just sprinted 99 yards, and then he was like, okay, kickoff, get your ass back out there. And a couple of people were like, oh, now he's right back to sucking. Dude, he just sprinted 99 yards at the height of like emotions and everything. He's exhausted because it's the fourth quarter, and you guys are mad at him that the wide receiver and quarterback went right after him again because he had no safety help. He should I love this defense, but I don't know why you weren't just like, okay, this man is tired, put a safety over top just to make sure that we're covered here. Alas, it was good redemption for Christian Gray, and honestly, it felt good to beat the shit out of USC. It was a little sketchy there for a little bit, but we did okay. I'm fully back in, and this team is going to break my heart. But on the other side of things, what if this defense just keeps doing what it does? Of course, 28 points was the most we've given up all year. But it's also a rivalry game, and what we're going to talk about later is that these are just like the AFC North games. You take the record book and you just throw it in the air because none of that shit matters when these teams hate each other enough. But yeah, dude, I'm all in. I'm just like, why not? Why won't we be the 5 seed? Why won't we get win a home playoff game? Then we'll just go play the weakest of the 4 conference championships, and then we can just go to the semi. And what if we're hot by then? Then our defense gets rolling, and then what if we roll to the offense? Offense. Then we're going to roll to the championship. This is all going to come back and bite me. I'm not going to clip this. I'm not going to post this clip after we lose. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous. And Riley Leonard has really, really turned this thing around. It took him 12 games to get here. And even then, some of his passes are a little bit shaky. But I'm in. I believe it's going to break my heart. It's going to break my father's heart. It's going to break my brother's heart. It's going to break everyone's heart that's a Notre Dame fan. And the rest of the United States will cheer. And that's okay because, baby, that is what we do in the 2000s. We get excited, and then we get let down.
I was going to ask you how you felt about your chances now, but thanks for answering all that for me. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think you said you're feeling like a 5 seed, maybe the 5
I think
seed.
we get the 5 or 6.
Okay. We'll talk about that. I mean, we can talk about that to all ends. I don't know if anyone has the answers. I've never felt bad for a committee ever. I kind of feel badly for them this year. Truly.
It's because not only is it the first year of the 12, it's such a clusterfuck of a year. This would be a clusterfuck of a year if it was the 14 playoff. Because you're just like, it's got to be the 4 conference championships champions, I guess. But this was a messed up, fucked up, all around crazy year. And then they're like, oh, and it's the first year of the 12 team to playoff to where we're going to somewhere, one conference is going to feel like they have just been betrayed, left to die, and all the rest of it.
By the way, this is after we finished recording. It's from 6 to 6:30 is the CFB ranking show for this week. So we won't know fully until I think it is this Sunday. So when we talk next, we'll actually have a good ranking system. We'll know who's in there. I think the Big 12 is going to be screwed. Maybe I'm just a wuss. I'm looking for a victimhood. I do think they're going to get screwed. I think they'll get 1 in. I think whoever wins the conference championship will get in. I think there's a good reason BYU should get in. I don't think BYU is going to get in. It should be whoever wins the championship. So, I don't know, maybe Iowa State, maybe not. I don't know. I love Iowa State, but I do think BYU should have a good chance. So,
I think it's that's the thing. I think you guys are the conference to get screwed. I think ACC is going to be the one to just get left out, and they're going to be like, we got screwed too. And everyone's going to be like, no, the fuck you didn't. Well, you got SMU and Clemson somehow squeaked into the fucking final. Whatever, dude.
SMU didn't really squeak. SMU's had actually.
No. SMU rolled. That's what I'm saying. They have got the one team. Yeah. I guess you could say Miami as well, but they kind of
Miami went
nosedive.
If you lose to Syracuse, I don't think you should be allowed to be in the college football playoff. Very huge knock on wood for if ever that happens.
Quickly. One of my notes is Syracuse plays in the Dome, and they're the only college football team to do that, and it's fucking cool. It's cool. It sucks that it's Syracuse and not as much as I don't like them, Clemson, because playing in a dome is so fucking cool, especially in college, that environment. Brian, it's got to be so loud.
I have to go against you real quickly. There's someone you're forgetting. You're forgetting about the AAC UTSA who play in the Alamo Dome. I know. Sorry. You AAC, stand up for them.
Power 5 conference.
Power 5.
Power 4 conference.
Actually, back fun story. I don't know if you've ever you didn't know this. The podcast was not happening back then. AAC used to call itself the Power 6 conference back when like UH, Cincinnati, and all of them were still there. And so I told my friends, yeah, Power 6 conference. Like, shut the fuck up. It's not Power 6. Like, it is to me. And it kind of was. Cincinnati kind of made it and they got murdered. But yeah, so that's that. I'm just going to start the weekend with this, Georgia Tech. What a wonderful / horrible game to watch.
What a fun game. Yeah. It was this close. I think if Georgia Tech wins that game, Notre Dame is the 5 seed instantly because we beat Georgia Tech and they go in. Dude, that was such a fun game. Easiest over ever. Holy shit. The crazy part about that over is that it used to be even easier because now after the second overtime, it goes down to 2-point conversions that are 2 points worth each. 3 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was your touchdowns every single time. It's worth 7. But man, that game was awesome.
Can I say something? My hot take.
Go for it.
I hate the 2-point rule so much. I hate it so much.
I agree. I'd rather the touchdown shootout, 35-yard every time.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. I'm glad you
25.
It's just like it's cool, but it's lame. You're just running like 2-point conversion plays the entire time. So it's some sort of trickery involved. It's not really like college football. That's such a boomer take from me, like an old head take. At the same time, I fully agree with it. I think this game rocked. I think it would have been way cooler if they were doing a touchdown shootout. Because I do think they actually would have gone this far with the touchdown shootout. Huh?
I agree, but the 2-point conversion overtime is still better than NFL overtime.
Oh,
college overtime is so much better.
I mean, Brian, the NH, I don't know. I was going to think of like some weird overtime, like the baseball rules where it's like, hey, there's a runner on second that starts. That's better than the NFL overtime, and I hate that rule. Yeah, NFL overtime sucks. And they changed it for the playoffs only, which makes no sense to me. Why not change it for the entire season? But who cares? But yeah, with that said, I do think maybe some questionable calls for Georgia. Maybe. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying maybe like Kaiba versus Yugi. There's a little bit of plot help to Yugi. Unless, Kaiba tries to kill himself, then that changes everything. Georgia Tech should have just tried to kill themselves. And then, Yugi would have given up. But kind of just like that. So I thought it was great fun though.
Carson Beck standing at the top of the bleachers, and it's like, Georgia Tech, if you score this 2-point conversion, I'll fall down.
I mean, honestly, that would have actually helped Georgia maybe. But let's go into the big talk of the weekend, which was Michigan, Ohio State, the fight of the weekend with a boring ass game behind it.
Ryan Day fucking sucks at his job. And if they somehow go on to win the national championship this year, no Ohio State fan that I've seen is excited for that because they'll know Michigan will be able to hold it over their head saying, oh, we won 2 in a row. We beat your ass. So they didn't really beat their ass, but they were a team that was supposed to get 20-point favorite and they lost at home to their rival. And Ryan Day looks like a fucking idiot. Did you see the 1-minute camera shot of him like afterwards when like the fight's going on? He's kind of just standing there. He walks around a little bit.
I mean,
fuck Ryan Day.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if we can cut this if you want. It reminded me of that girl in England who had 100 guys in her. I imagine that's what she looked like afterwards, just getting fucking ran through by a team of guys who are not good. Not that good, at least this season. Last season, it made sense. They maybe were. There's some things involved. Shut the fuck up, Gus Johnson. The funniest part of the game to me was the Sawyer interception. That was his moment. His coming of senior season moment where it's gonna be like, now Ohio State's gonna win. It led to a 3-and-out, which is just perfect. The game fucking sucked. It was a boring game. The only reason it will be memorable at all is because of the fight afterwards. Just quickly, Gus Johnson, everyone else in sports media, the moral posturing of like, I just can't believe this would happen. Like, no, this is like what rivalries are made of. I want you guys to beat the shit out of each other. That's what makes rivalries fun. Like, say what you want about 1-year players coming into the teams and be like, I can't wait to beat the shit out of them. That's fun. That's like part of what you do. That's the point of college football is the tradition, the fun that you really don't have in the NFL. It's the, hey, Michigan and Ohio are kind of close to each other. There's like historic rivalries. They're in the same conference. They're in the same region. Like, say what you want about, the Lions and the Bears. They don't hate each other as much as Michigan and Ohio State. So I just cannot stand the whole, like, this is just not what this is about. They're going to show all those fights for like the next 10 years in every the game commercial. And I loved it. I loved this weekend. This weekend rocked. The one shining moment edit you sent rocked. I love that so much.
Oh, it's so funny. Dude, is so funny. The not to bring it back to Notre Dame, but the fact that just 97, I don't know his name off the top of my head. There's a USC player on the ground. 97 just full on punches his fucking face mask like hard.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, fucking you, you're going to hurt your hand. Lineman gloves are so fucking padded.
Yeah.
He didn't feel shit during that. But it was just funny. They got a perfect angle of him just going, no penalty, no nothing. But I think there will be some repercussions afterwards. But whatever.
100%. But like maybe he might get Aziz Al-Shaair where he gets off for punching somebody. We'll get to that later. But yeah, no, I love this. I think Ryan Day is going to either win a national championship and be fired or just get fired, because there's no way he doesn't get fired. You just can't have this.
1-4 against Michigan.
I mean, how can he sleep at night? That's my question. Like, if UH lost to, like, I don't know, like a good UH lost to UT or like Texas Tech or really any Texas school, 1-4, I couldn't sleep at night because that would just kill me, especially those, let's see, leading to our next game. If it lost to Aggies 4 times in a row, A&M UT, also kind of a bad game that surprisingly, wink, wink, unsurprisingly, A&M didn't score an offensive point the entire game against a relatively okay Texas, who Quinn Ewers really doesn't want to get drafted in general. 2, really wanted A&M to win that game.
Yeah. That's going to be an issue. There's several UT fans that are calling for Manning to starting. And but was this Texas's defense being good, or Texas A&M's offense just being shit?
I think it's the offense being shit. I've talked to some A&M fans, and after watching the game, I haven't watched a lot of A&M games this season. I think I watched Notre Dame and Mizzou. Those are the 2. And the Mizzou game is kind of an outlier because they just rocked there. This is just how their defense is. They just don't ever figure out how to like change during the game. Their new quarterback, whatever his name is, it's not Weigman or whatever. He's not good enough to make adjustments on the fly. It wasn't a fun game. I'm happy UT won just because my hate of A&M runs deep and I don't like to see them happy in general. But yeah, that's all that was. We waited 13 years for this rivalry to come back to this not good game. But Arch looked okay, so good for us.
Yeah, he had a really good run. It was pretty awesome, but it was it was a tight game. So like on paper, it was like 17-7. Like they played each other hard. No, A&M offense got its ass kicked, and poor defense just holding on for life as much as possible. Just be like, please put up any points.
Yeah, I mean, again, not a single offensive point. You could hear the stadium lose steam as the game went on. So not a good game. UT tried to like storm the A&M logo at midfield after the game. Sark pulled them back immediately because, say what you want about the game, if a UT flag had been planted on A&M's precious grass, someone would have died. Like, truly, someone would have died. You can't. For those of you who don't know, you can't step on grass at A&M. Like, there's certain grass you can't step on. I imagine if you planted a UT flag on also sacred grass in Kyle Fields, that guy with the longhorn and the dog, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, he'd come kill them. So, horrible game, but glad we're back. Last thing, I want to talk about the Big 12 real quickly. Incredibly fun weekend because no one knew who was going to make it to the championship game. I had talked last week about there were like 256 possibilities. There was like even a chance Baylor got in. A lot of things had to go wrong. We ended up with Arizona State, Iowa State. Arizona State hit a trident on Arizona's field. Arizona was not happy about that. But yeah, fine week. Colorado has now sent pamphlets to Heisman voters to get Shador and Travis Hunter the Heisman talk. I'm going to say something very quickly. If you have two Heisman candidates on the team, do you have a Heisman candidate at all? And that is just my very. Do they build each other up? Are they the best player in college football, or the best players together in college football, but separated? They're very different. I don't know. Say what you want about that. I'm not going to say anything too crazy. I'm going to say Ashton Giante, my king, my savior, has per week. So every single week, I'm pretty sure there's only 1 week where a P4 running back beats him. And like stats over like an entire team. So I think he should win. I need to write a blog about this. He's not going to win. It's going to be Travis Hunter. And
it's going to be Travis Hunter.
And I'm going to be
it should be Jaunty.
Should be Giante. Yeah, it should. Again, if you have two Heisman candidates, do you have one at all? Wonderful posing. But that's all. Do you want to actually pick the championship games real quickly? I know we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I have 6 of them pulled up. If you want to just take a guess off the top of your head, who you think's going to win?
The American Athletic between Tulane and Army.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Tulane. I like Tulane, so I'm picking Tulane.
Tulane. It's fun. Mountain West, UNLV versus Boise State.
Boise State, because they have the should-be Heisman winner.
Tend to agree, Boise State. Big 12, Iowa State versus Arizona State.
I know I said Iowa State earlier, but I don't know why I said that. Arizona State's going to win this.
For fun, I'm going to say Iowa State. SEC, Georgia versus Texas.
I'm going to say Texas only because Georgia's so inconsistent at times that I wonder if a more consistent Texas team may not be as good. It's going to be such a weird comparison. It's going to be like Better Call Saul versus Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is more consistently good throughout the entire run, but the highs of Better Call Saul are higher than that of Breaking Bad. Georgia's Better Call Saul. Texas is Breaking Bad. I think Breaking Bad wins this one.
I 100% agree, but I'm picking Georgia because I think Georgia's good. I think Kirby Smart is that type of coach that can just flip that switch, and I think they're going to flip that switch for this championship game because they want a shot at the playoff and they need to win this to get in. So I think it's going to be Georgia, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Texas, but I think Georgia is going to surprise some people. Big 10, State Penn versus Oregon.
Oregon. I mean, they've shown nothing. Like they've won everything for a reason.
ACC, Clemson versus SMU.
I'm going to SMU on this.
I'm going to SMU, and I'm going to pray to God it's SMU.
I mean, what did the Syracuse coach say? This is for you, Dabo. Don't ever do that ever again, please.
Fuck that.
Nothing's for Dabo, other than NIL. God's name, name, image, and likeness.
So I'm going to do something different that I normally don't do. I'm going to quickly give you my picks for the NCAA championship weekend.
Okay.
I'm going to only give you the spread picks because guess what? I took every over.
You should.
So Tulane -2, Boise State -2, Ohio for Ohio, Miami +2.5, Georgia moneyline, Clemson moneyline, State Penn moneyline. I want to lose those moneyline bets. That's all I'm going to say.
Perfect.
Emotional hedging.
Emotional hedging. I just want to mention one thing. There's someone who's returned. It's like an Avengers after like a Marvel movie, which, I hate Marvel movies, but there's a guy who's returned. Stanford has hired Andrew Luck. He's back. He's like the general manager of football, but I'm happy he's back. Captain Andrew Luck returned on Twitter, which is fantastic. He's now a battalion chief or whatever he called himself. No longer on the field. He's no longer the gunslinger. He's now behind the lines. I love Andrew Luck. I can't say anything against him. I'm just happy. I'm happy he's doing well.
Yeah, me too. It was very hard to hate him when he was a Colt, and I, for the most part, didn't. But the only time I would hate him was when he would do his fuck shit on the field, and I was just like, God damn it, Luck.
Like, he's so good. Like,
so good.
I was fully under the impression we were going to get a lot, like, kind of like, I don't know, like the Packers kind of, where you have just a line of great quarterbacks that we're going to have. Peyton Manning and then Andrew Luck. It's going to be like another 12 years of just misery for us. Turns out, not at all. Thanks.
He said, fuck that, I'm out.
He said, I mean, dude, smart. Now the smart guy goes back to the smart school. So smart. You know what's not smart? Targeting your opposing quarterback with a forearm.
Yeah, it was a dirty hit. Now, a lot of former NFL players are coming out on Twitter. Brady, Sherman, Ryan Fitzpatrick. have all come out and being like, what the fuck do you expect them to do? They're supposed to be aggressive players. And when you have people, and they did not name him by name, but they kept on saying people that pretend to step out of bounds and then keep going, people that pretend to fake slide. They are supposed to stop you. If they're getting used to quarterbacks taking advantage of the protections they're given up, I stepped out of bounds. Oh, but no, I didn't. Here's an extra 6 yards. Or, I faked a slide. Oh, here's another 15 yards. Because unlike the NCAA, there is no rules against that. And Patrick Mahomes has been taking advantage of that for the past couple of years. No one calls him out on this shit because it's Patrick Mahomes. How is Alshire supposed to know that that's Trevor Lawrence's? It's a dirty hit. He deserved a fine. He deserved to get ejected. I don't think he deserved the 3-game suspension, but he's going to appeal it. I don't think he's going to win. Our GM came out today and talked a lot of shit. There was like referenced some stuff about, okay, why didn't you protect CJ when he got hit by Quinn Williams, and a bunch. He just ripped into the guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but who apparently was a dirty player when he played in the NFL, which was hilarious.
NFL VP or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
The guy who did a flying headbutt guy. I don't know if you saw that. Huh?
So, yeah, I did. That's what I'm talking about. And, like, it's a dirty play by the letter of the law. But what the fuck do you expect him to do? Because if he's not flying that quickly that direction, he does not leave his feet, and Trevor Lawrence just decides, I'm going to get another 10 yards off this, then he's going to get yelled at and called. But it was a no-win situation for him. You either hit a quarterback hard and everyone on the internet gets their pitchforks and, fuck this guy. Or number 2, you look like an idiot out there and all of Houston's like, wow, what the fuck are you doing? Why did you stop on the play? It is a no-win situation, and they need to do something about this. They need to either start throwing penalties on quarterbacks, being like, you're abusing the protection that we're giving you, which I agree with the protection that they're giving them, but you need to penalize them if they're going to abuse it.
So
it should be right where they fake the slide, right where they fake go out of bounds, or whatever fake protection that they're like, wherever they fake to use the protection, it should be dead spot 15 yards back.
Okay. So I agree and disagree with you on certain points. Number 1, I do agree that the NFL has failed Trevor Lawrence. And by that, I mean they've allowed Mahomes and Josh Allen to get away with fake sliding a lot. And they are big users of it. And I think Mahomes did it this past week. I think that the NFL needs to do something about it. I don't think they will. I think they kind of like being able to protect their quarterbacks, which I understand. At the same time, this is the natural consequence of it. 2, I still think it's actually pretty. He was going in, and I can understand why he was going in like that. I do think maybe Alshire's a dirty player. He punched a guy. He punched the Bears on the sidelines. He tried to choke Brady, which, I mean, that's a no-no right there, just in general. That's coming for the king. He's done those 2 things that I can think of off the top of my head. This is for our friend Christian, and I'll explain what I mean in a second. If he just went in like kind of this, like, how you're supposed to tackle a good Cooper DeJean form tackle, I could be like, I kind of understand. If there's nothing else had happened beforehand, I'd be like, I understand. The thing is, he pulled a hidden blade. Now, if you don't know what a hidden blade is, that is a finisher in professional wrestling where you just use your fucking forearm to kill someone from the back. He did that to Trevor Lawrence. He went in with his forearms. Now, you can maybe say, oops, whatever. That was just a weird positioning. I will say, though, he got up immediately and went like, what did I do? He knew what the fuck he was doing. So that's why, like, I know people are calling people pussies online for saying that he should have been suspended. I kind of think he should have been suspended because if you use all the evidence around him as a person, as a player, in that moment, kind of the position of his arms, his clear reaction afterwards where he knew he did something wrong. He was kind of looking for that. And given the fact you're trying to protect quarterbacks, I kind of get it. That is my take there.
Great counterpoint. He doesn't put his forearm up. Trevor Lawrence is either eating a shoulder or a helmet, which would have done a lot more damage.
That's fine, but he had his arms up already. He knew what the fuck he was doing already. It's not like he changed his arms. His arms are already fucking up like that.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, no, I agree. He didn't. Yeah. He didn't like, oh shit, he's sliding. Let me use it to protect him. Yeah. No, it was like this is what I'm going for. Yeah. But if he didn't do that and he shoves his shoulder or uses his helmet, Trevor Lawrence might be dead.
Yeah, I mean Trevor Lawrence is in the hospital right now because the NFL has failed so badly in its protection of quarterbacks, or it's like giving them so much status as someone this is going to happen to Mahomes. Again, this is a situational thing. If what you were saying, where he goes like he put his forms up because it was clear something was wrong, I'd be like, hey, obviously there's context to the situation. The problem is Alshire is a dirty player. We kind of know he's a dirty player. Again, he punched a guy on the sidelines. The guy wasn't even in the play. He just punched him. There was no repercussions for that. And if you look at the weight of the evidence against him in terms of, hey, this is my lawyer hat. If you look at the weight of the evidence against him in terms of the situational context, how he was positioned, his reaction afterwards, which shows his state of mind, his mens rea, as some people may say, it's very clear that he knew what the fuck he was doing. And now, if the situation which you were talking about happened, there'd be a different conversation. But that's not what that's not the reality of the situation. Does the NFL need to fix things? Of course they do. Did Alshire kind of mean to do that? Yes. And his apology was not an apology either. That was not an apology. That was like a, oops, it happened. It wasn't like a, hey, like I was being a shithead. So that's, I think the weight of the evidence against him kind of led to this path.
I guess. To flip it to a nice thing, we won! We did it!
Woo!
Yay!
I'll be so honest. I thought Mac Jones was going to bring them back.
I 100% thought the same thing.
And the thing is, after seeing the hit, I was like, I mean, cosmically, we may deserve this. But I was so worried Mac Jones was going to pull a Baker Mayfield, a Sam Darnold, and just be like, I'm on a new team. I'm really good now. So thank God we won.
Yeah, Bobby Slowick lives to see another day. He actually called a pretty good game. Yeah, I don't really have anything else on this game. It was fine.
I mean, using Joe Mixon to just run it down their throat consistently throughout the game. Great call. Joe Mixon. Again, apologies. I wrote a blog about you in the beginning in May about how I didn't think you were going to be as good as you were. I stand before you a humble man. But yeah, overall, I think it was a game to forget. Thank God we're in a horrible division. It's like the Astros in the AL West. The fact that we're in the AFC South has really helped us because we have the culture. What they're 6 and whatever. I mean, they're close behind, but they're not too close behind to where I'm worried.
Yeah, and we're into the bye week now, so just rest, recover, and get ready for the gauntlet. You've got in 10 days, not 10 days from now, but in the 10 days from the Miami kickoff, we have Miami at Kansas City, and then the Ravens at home. And that's all in 10 days, and that's it's a lot, man. It's not going to be pretty. So I need every Texan just needs to fucking rest. Don't do anything stupid. Don't go to any pool parties, please, Mr. Tankdell. just go home and rest and ice up and be as ready as possible because this is going to be a rough patch.
Quickly. I fully believe the last 4 games. There's a good chance you lose 3 of those 4.
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
I agree. I think we're going to go 0-3 and then beat the Titans.
I think we'll make the playoffs either through winning the division barely or a good wild card spot. That is my only
7th.
hope.
It would have to be the 7th seed wild card spot.
Yeah. I don't think otherwise we're going to kill this. I'm not a Texans believer anymore in any capacity.
Yeah, this team has not been phenomenal all year. Like, we're just waiting for them to click. We're just waiting for them to click offensively. We're just waiting for. Okay, it's week 4. We're going into week 14. We have a bye week, so they're all going to put it together in the next 4 weeks. Like, I hope so. I hope to be wrong, but it's not been it's been a rough year. We've lost games we were supposed to win. We haven't even done the opposite. We haven't won games we're supposed to lose. We've lost games we're supposed to win, and then lost games that we were in that we shouldn't really have been in. Like the Lions game they should have killed us. They're the best team in the NFL, but no, we're there. Oh, we lost at the end. Speaking of Lions, they escaped the Bears through some of the shittiest clock management and communication skills between a head coach and quarterback in NFL history. I'd say I for the first 5 seconds after they put the ball down, it is a 50-50 blame. Mm-hmm. It is on 50% on Eberflus. It's 50% on Caleb Williams. After those 5 seconds, it's 10% on Caleb Williams and 90% on Eberflus. Mm-hmm. If Eberflus notices, what the fuck is he doing? Why isn't he getting this playoff? Call a timeout. Adjust from there.
Do you want to know my conspiracy theory on this?
He wanted to get fired?
No, not at all. I mean, probably, but I don't know if Caleb Williams was that, like, in that moment thinking that. I think they've talked about this before. and they ran the play into execution. Because the thing is, Caleb Williams was very, very intent on making sure that the play was run. He wasn't trying to call a timeout. Like, I imagine at some point he kind of looks over. He didn't even look over to the sidelines. He was trying the entire time to make it happen. Eberflus, I mean, either he's the dumbest coach in America, or they've talked about this before and they're like, no, we're just going to take the shot. Now, is that coaching negligence? Sure. Is that probably what got him fired? Possibly, along with everything else that's ever happened this season. But my conspiracy theory is that I truly think they had talked about this at some point, whether it be right now, like the week before or earlier in the season, and they decided we're not going to call a timeout. We're going to just run the play. Because there's just so much, like, maybe I'm just like putting too much on. Like, I'm doing like the Trump Bordy chess thing on this, where it's like I'm just overthinking the entire process. The fact that Caleb Williams never once looked at the sidelines. Eberflus never even tried to get anyone's attention. They just sat there. I mean, Caleb Williams was obviously trying to get the play to run, but he wasn't doing anything special. Neither was Eberflus. Either Eberflus wanted to get fired. He's like, I just collect millions of dollars at home. Fuck this. I'm tired of doing this. Caleb Williams hated his coach. They're both just incompetent idiots. Not so much Caleb Williams, but you kind of see where I'm going. Or there's some sort of talk about this beforehand. And I'm going with fourth option because I think it's the most fun option. It's the most conspiratorial option. Probably what happened is that they just were both dumb.
Yeah, no, but the Eberflus era is over. Caleb Williams, he'll be okay. He'll be fine. Just that was just a legitimate, honest to God rookie mistake. Unless you're right, then they've talked about this and this is what they wanted to do. If not, it was just a rookie mistake. That's why I said the first couple seconds that's on, like, it's a 50-50 split, but after that it's on Eberflus. Yeah. Keeping it on Thanksgiving, Chiefs black magic just continues. They somehow just, a flag was picked up on that final play. They got the ball back when the Raiders were in almost field goal position. Like, it is crazy. It wasn't you know that meme that's like, I can't wait to see my team play. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. And everyone was like, Chiefs can't use that. You've had two Super Bowls in a row, 3 Super Bowls in the Patrick Mahomes era. You can't use this meme. This is memes for bad teams. They can use it this year because all their games come back to last minute bullshit that they're like, oh my God, this fucking team, man. Oh shit, we won. Literally every game.
Yeah, so I've taken a different route on this as well. I'm fully behind the NFL conspiracy at this point. I can't, there's nothing anymore that I can say to stop myself from like buying into this. Not to do 2 conspiracies in a row. The false start / actually it was a fumble recovery. That is some of the most, I don't like, I need like, so the thing in soccer, one of the things that PGMOL does is sometimes is they release the audio and they also release an explanation for what happened. I need that from the NFL refs because what happened makes 0 sense. Because I believe I feel like I heard a whistle on that play, by the way. I may be crazy. I feel like I heard a whistle, which if I'm a player, I say me like I'm a player. If I'm a player, it indicates stop playing, play to the whistle. That's like rule number 1. You're taught, like, Cooper DeJean tackles and play to the whistle. And I thought I heard a whistle. Maybe someone else on the radio thought they heard a whistle. I am fully invested now that I think there's some sort of conspiracy. Now, am I going to talk about it every week? Probably not. Do I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl? Probably not. Just given, like, if they come against the Lions, I just don't see how it's possible to even, like, script that.
They beat the Lions this year already.
I know, and that's the thing, Brian. I don't know. I want to believe. It's like Santa. I want to believe, but I know it's false. But yeah, that's just black magic. Mahomes lives to see another day. I just can't. I don't know who Andy Reid paid off. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. I'll tell you that afterwards. I thought of something, but I cannot say it on the pod. But yeah, that's all I have on that game.
To go over back to Thanksgiving real quick, Miami officially, the real quick note, don't have to talk about it very much. Miami cannot play in the cold. If they have to go outdoors in the playoffs in the cold, it's over. Just take the other team. They're like averaging, I think, 12.5 points with Tua in the cold or something like that. And they're like 0-6 or some shit and like 45-degree or colder kickoffs. That is the problem with playing in Miami, where the weather is beautiful. You go up somewhere cold and you're fucked.
Yeah, my exact note was Dolphins are cold because Mike McDaniel was shivering. which is never a good sign when your coach, who can wear as much as he wants, shivers. So yeah, I mean, if they have to go play the Bills ever, or like anywhere above, I don't know, the Mason-Dixon line, they're screwed.
Chargers just win games, man. They just fucking figure out how to win games. This is another quick hitter. Jim Harbaugh brought the Michigan mentality, where Michigan wasn't always the best team offensively last year, and they just found ways to win games one way or another. Now you take that mentality and give yourself a talented quarterback like Justin Herbert, and all of a sudden that mentality translates pretty well to the NFL. But they just know how to win games. That defense is incredible. Quinton Johnson needs to learn how to catch the fucking ball, though.
I will say that I feel like Justin Herbert finally found his guy. For years we were talking about how Justin Herbert just needs a guy to teach him, or a guy like a coach. Feels like Harbaugh was the correct choice for this.
Absolutely.
They
Great
are
hire.
Again, they are very different people. If you look at them like on paper, they just work well together. And I like Justin Herbert. I will always love Justin Herbert. I'm happy for Justin Herbert.
The 49ers are officially dead, and Josh Allen is got to be the MVP this year, man.
Yeah. On 49ers, CMC hurt, out. I think I said at the beginning of the year that because of the whole wedding fiasco, where he's told I think they told an influencer to kill herself or like something like that, that it's not going to go well for him this season. I'd like to point out
it hasn't.
It has not at all. He's had to fly to Germany. He's out for the season. I'd like to point out my TikTok theory was vindicated. So thank you, Chinese spyware. I appreciate your help on this.
Eagles are really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good, dude. They're the second best, in my opinion. They're the second best team in the NFL, right? Third best. I'd go Lions, Bills, Eagles right now, man. The Eagles are so good, and I don't really think they've hit their stride and how good they can be, because offensively they've been fine, but like AJ Brown, I feel like hasn't been putting up the same numbers that he is capable of putting up. Devontae Smith has been on and off hurt. Barkley is obviously carrying that offense, but if Devontae Smith comes back healthy and AJ Brown returns to what he is, because he's been great. He's been good this year. He's been good. I'm not saying he's been bad, but he's a top 5 talent wide receiver wise when he's doing the best at what he does. If he can return that to form and Devontae Smith gets healthy, and with Barkley doing his thing, and if Hurts, you've got weapons for days. Dallas Goedert as well. Like, this could be the best offensive. Eagles, Lions, NFC Championship would be so fucking fun, dude. I hope it happens, man. They're the clear 2 best teams in NFC, in my opinion. Oh my God, it'd be fun.
I mean, remember when we were talking about, I think 2 weeks ago, how we were like Sirianni should be killed.
I still hate Sirianni.
I mean, I still hate Sirianni, but there was actually reasons behind it. Now, he just is a douchebag. Yeah, they turned that They turned that ship around fully. Saquon, I mean, he's a magic man at this point. The Chiefs are using their black magic to win games. He's using his magic to just be beautiful on the field. I still can't get over the backwards jump. Or the whatever it was, the backwards hurdle. But yeah, if Hurts he has his weapons. If just things come together, they're already coming together. They're going to come together more. Like you said, if like AJ Brown gets it together, I think we're about to see. I still think the Lions will take that game, but that's more, I think, maybe my own personal bias than it is a good football analysis, which is what this podcast is about.
Well, it also depends on the Lions are dealing with a lot of defensive injuries right now.
They have
it depends if. I think it's 6 starters.
Yeah. Okay. I think I saw something like maybe it's 6 starters plus 15 injuries in general.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's half. It feels like half your team at that point. It's not, but it feels like it.
Speaking of half your team being dead, Joe Burrow has MVP numbers this year, and if they had half the losses they've had just turned into wins, he'd be the MVP favorite. Too bad his defense is so fucking sorry that they put up normally 33 points in the NFL wins you a game. Normally, it's crazy record this year. It's like teams outside of the Bengals are like 51-1 or something like that this year with 33 points or more, and the Bengals have lost 3 of those games. That's nuts.
I think, not to bring it back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Moment of the week, but I think we mentioned, it was 4, 5, 6 weeks ago that he's the My Valentine of the NFL. It's just never going to happen for him. And this week just kind of proved it because he's not having bad weeks. It's just everything is working against him at this point. And that press conference, like we talked about depression, we talked about like the Ryan Day depression stare. Joey B looked depressed.
At that press conference, he was dejected.
Was it the Panthers coach? Whoever that was, who was like, playoffs, I just want to win a game. It felt like someone asked him about that. He's like, the Bengals are dead. They're dead and they're not coming back.
They completely failed Joe Burrow.
That's the kind of my next point I was going to make. Maybe Joe Burrow needs to go somewhere else. He needs to go to greener pastures.
Too bad he's signed a contract there. Unless he gets traded, he's not going anywhere.
I don't think he's going to get traded. I don't think maybe they're like, the Browns front office that signed Deshaun Watson, but I don't see them letting him go anytime soon. At the same time, he needs to go somewhere else because it's just never going to happen.
Speaking of good quarterback play for a not so good team, man, Bryce Young getting benched for those 3 weeks has turned into somewhat. This is Panthers fans. You should be excited because he's unlike Bengals fans, where your quarterback is looking good and you're losing games, and you're like, because they had expectations. The Carolina Panthers had no expectations, so your quarterback looks good and you're losing games, which means you're going to have better draft picks, and you should be excited. Bryce Young, those 3 weeks behind Andy Dalton, man, tips off. Hats off to that guy because he must have done some superior coaching, like behind the scenes with Bryce Young, because Bryce Young looks like a totally different quarterback. He looks comfortable. He looks good. He looks smooth. Good for Carolina. Turns out they've got a couple, like 6 weeks ago, people were talking about like, dude, are they going to try and trade him for a 7th round pick? Or are they going to just cut him at the end of 4 years or what? Nah, man, just continue to build off this and you guys are going to be okay.
Sorry, I just thought of something. I'm going to start a narrative real quickly. Mm-hmm. There's something about Texas quarterbacks. So people who went to Texas colleges, who go be an NFL quarterback and just kind of end up as a backup, who they just rock at their job. We got Cole McCoy, you got Andy Dalton, you got Case Keenum. That's 3 off the top of my head. There's probably more. I just want to start the narrative right now that if you want to be a great NFL backup quarterback, make 12 to 15 plus million a year. You probably have to start at some point, but it won't be for too long. You'll get one big thing.
Ewers, we'll see where Ewers ends up in like 6 years.
Yeah, who knows? At this point, he might not even get drafted. I don't mean that. I actually do think he'll get drafted. He may pull a Will Levis and go to like the 2nd or 3rd round. Just quickly, also talking Will Levis, fun quarterback to watch. I do think he has pulled the Titans out of having to draft a quarterback. I don't think Will Levis is ever going to be like a top 15 or top 12 quarterback in the NFL. I think he will be good enough until they find something that works, but I don't think they're ever going to have to draft a quarterback.
I agree. I think he's kind of the new age Jameis Winston. Just a fun quarterback to watch if he's not your quarterback. Go ahead.
I was gonna talk about fun quarterbacks real quickly. Who I don't give my bets on this channel. Putting a bet in on right now. Rookie of the year is Bo Nix. Watching him last night on Monday Night Football. Maybe I was wrong with I was so stupid. He throws like he's a gunslinger, like Drew Brees kind of. He's fun like Drew Brees. He's going to throw for a lot of yards like Drew Brees. I'm a Bo Nix guy now. Like I was not, obviously, I released a video yesterday. I was not at the beginning of the season. I'm now a Bo Nix defender. It's so much fun to watch him. He throws passes that are sometimes but he's going for something. It's like the old adage, you want a quarterback with a fair few interceptions because it means they're going for it. He goes for it. And he goes for it well. There's a reason the Broncos look relatively good this season. When I did not expect them to. So Bo Nix, rookie of the year. That's my pick right now.
Speaking of that game, this is going to be my last NFL note. And speaking of fun quarterback, Jameis Winston, I have something to admit to you, Jorden.
Oh no.
It's big. It's huge.
No.
Before kickoff, about 3 hours before kickoff, I looked at my bets and I said, Browns plus 5.5. I just don't see it. I just don't love it. So I cashed out. I got my money back. And I put more money on Denver Broncos minus 6.5. And let me tell you about what it is like to bet on a game with Jameis Winston. They're driving. They're down 2. 1 minute, 40 seconds left. I'm like, oh, it's fucking over. Not going to cover. The over hit, because I bet every primetime over. That's a different discussion. God damn it. Like, oh, this stinks. Throws a pick six. I stand up. My poor fiance has to deal with me. Holy shit, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to cover this. Oh, holy fuck. Jameis Winston, thank you so much. Pick six. They're up 9. Woo! They get the ball back. They march down the entire field and get to the 2-yard line. The whole time I'm just slumped back. Just, are you fucking kidding me? They're gonna score this meaningless touchdown for the game, and they're gonna end up not covering. Whatever. Fucking hell. 40 seconds left. They line up on the 2-yard line. I'm like, it's over. It's fine. You know, at least the over hit. Jameis Winston throws a horrible interception, and the guy runs it back to the 50, and I'm fucking celebrating. I didn't deserve to win this shit. I also had parlayed the spread and the over. It was everything worked out for me. Basically, I had a shitty week in the NFL or in college, and I just did the stupid thing that you should never do. And 1-800-GAMBLER or whatever the phone thing is I was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna get all my shit back on this one parlay of the spread and the over. This is fine. And I put a stupid bet in, and then it worked out for me. And I got in bed with my fiance that last night, and I looked at her and I was like, I think I just learned my lesson. And she was like, yeah. And I was just like, it's a lot better to learn this lesson because it would be deep seated if I lost, but I'm glad I didn't lose. But I learned a lesson from winning, and that's crazy. I had no business winning that bet. I basically got back everything that I lost over the weekend, and I was just like sitting in bed, just like, this doesn't happen. This is bullshit. Like, I don't, and it's all because of Jameis Winston being the absolutely insane, up and down, wonderful roller coaster ride quarterback that he is.
For those of you keeping score at home, after making bad decisions but learning their lessons this week, we have 2 winners, which is Brian and Hunter Biden. So congratulations to both of them.
What a comparison. That's all I had on the NFL. I'm ready for picks unless you've got anything.
I'll be honest, I had something that I don't know what this note means. It says, this is our Colts. I have no clue what that means. So, yeah.
Oh, the Colts ended up winning in the last second.
Oh, yes, there we go. Yes, the last second. The 68-yard field goal attempt by the Patriots, which I was kind of hyped for, I'll be honest. I was really hoping it would go in. I thought it went in for a second, but it obviously did. I thought it actually doinked off. Thought it went in, thought it doinked off, and then it was just miss. That's what I was going to talk about. That was a cool win to see. That was a battle back. Anthony Richardson. I mean, it's kind of the Jameis Winston. There are highs and lows on Anthony Richardson. You're never going to have an easy game. I think you have the Cardiac Cougs, you have the Maple Leaf Murmurs, and now you have the not Tendonitis Titans. I don't know. I was trying to think something on the fly. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I can't think of a hard
Carpal tunnel Colts.
They're the fucking. I was going to call them Titans for real quickly. They're the cardiac arrest Colts. I don't know.
Cardiac Colts.
Yeah, I thought I was talking about the Titans for a second. I don't know. I have the same brains as Matt Eberflus. So,
all right, let's do our picks real quick. Just run them down real quick. Starting on Thursday Night Football, Packers Lions.
Lions. I feel like this will be closer than we think it is.
I'm going Packers for that very reason. I think the Lions are kind of on a downswing. They're winning games, but they don't look too great, and the Packers have been going up and up. So I think this is where they kind of pass the torch. I think the Lions are fine long term. I should clarify that. Saints, Giants.
I'm thinking Saints. Give me Saints.
I'm going Saints. Yeah. Browns, Steelers.
Steelers.
Jets, Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I'm going Jets.
Okay.
Call me crazy. Jaguars, Titans.
Give me the Titans here.
Give me the Titans. Falcons, Vikings.
Vikings. Kirk Cousins looks bad, by the way.
I'm going Vikings. Kirk Cousins revenge game, baby.
Okay. Well, oh no, you mean Vikings or Falcons?
What I say? Did I say Vikings?
You said Vikings. Huh?
I meant Falcons.
Okay.
Thank you. Good catch. Panthers, Eagles. Eagles, but I think Panthers are going to be. I think that's going to be a fun one. Raiders, Bucks. Seahawks, Cardinals.
Cardinals. I have to do it.
Seahawks. Bears, 49ers.
I think new coach bump or fired coach bump. Bears.
I'm going Bears as well. Bills, Rams.
Bills.
Chargers, Chiefs.
I don't want to say it, but I think the Chiefs are going to win this again.
I think if there's a coach to do it, I think it's going to be Harbaugh, so I'm going Chargers. I know the Bills beat them earlier this year, but still. And then final, Bengals, Cowboys.
Cowboys, but only because I think Joey B is just so defeated. I think this team's defeated.
I think Bengals just because Joey B, man. I
feel
so bad.
Like,
I want to believe. It's going to bite me in the ass. My side of things, I went 10-5-1. Funny enough, on Thanksgiving, I had the perfect 500 day. I went 1-1-1. So start off, Packers, Lions over 50.5, Falcons +5, Panthers, Eagles over 46, Steelers -6, Titans -3.5, Raiders +6.5, Saints -5, Jets, Dolphins over 46, Seahawks +3, Bills -4.5, Bears, 49ers under 43.5, Chiefs -4, Bengals, Cowboys over 50.5. Should be a fun week. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't have anything else.
I want to add one more thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about the Texans. Great tweet from Eli BWA_. Our offensive line would watch CJ take a hit like that and think about their next Instagram caption.
100%. I saw that and I laughed my ass off.
But that's all for me. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you guys sticking with us. If you're on YouTube, or please leave a comment. If you're on Spotify, please leave a 5-star rating. Brian, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Auric Polaris across all social medias, AURIC POLARIS. I got to slow that down. That's the only way I'm going to get it out. This week, it looks like I'm only going to be able to stream once, and that is on Saturday night. I'm going to do my From Software with Neil, continue our Bloodborne game. Jorden, where can the people find you?
Find me at Jordan's Thoughts on Twitter. I will tweet every once in a while, and it won't be happy. And then find me on Moonstamp on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I think Reddit there as well. And I will be releasing, I think, one blog this week, at least maybe two. One about Medrick Burnett Jr. and one about BYU getting to the college football playoffs.
Okay, stay beautiful.